It's got a lovely chassis. It stays so flat, and you can play with it actually. Now, see there. Hi guys, Alex Peak Performance Reviews. Welcome to another vlog and welcome to another car review. And today I am in the new MG3 Trophy Hybrid, which actually is a bit of a no-frill package, so a bit different to what I have on the channel. But I've driven a few cars that have similar ilk, similar kind of price range, things like the Suzuki Swift Sport. But I do like sometimes some of these little no-frill cars, especially as they're affordable, proper cars. 18,000 kind of pound roughly on the base price model. This one being the Trophy Hybrid, it is still only 20,400. With options, that one's about 21,000, and it's got loads of options, like basically pretty much every option. Apple, Android, CarPlay as well, which is really, really good. All the other things, bells and whistles that you'd expect on a, a lower end executive car, but everything you need is in that car. It's a hybrid, petrol electric hybrid, 1.5 litre petrol car with a 100 kilowatt motor as well, electric assistance. So the hybrid comes in and it gives a combined power of about 193 PS, which is like about 190 brake horsepower. But the torque figure is the thing that's even more impressive. I have to say, 313 foot-pound of torque, which for a car that normally has circa like 200-ish horsepower, which means that it should be a relatively fast car and sprightly car. So it should be absolutely crazy. Torque figures like that in a car like that is going to be pretty awesome. Like say front wheel drive, circa 200 horsepower. That's a recipe of a car that has a perfect amount of power, in my opinion, for every condition on every road. So I think it's going to be a fun little drive. As long as the chassis is good, I'm looking forward to it. Apparently 0 to 60 is around 8 seconds, so might try and see if we can test that. Sometimes these cars surprise you and they're even quicker. Like I say, circa 200 horsepower with 313 foot-pound of torque. Light little car, hopefully fun, good chassis. I've heard good things actually about this MG3. So in this trophy spec with a hybrid, could be really good. I'll let you know what I think. If there's any questions that I don't answer, hit us up in the comment section and let us know your questions and I'll be sure to answer them. But yeah, without further ado, let's go drive. So aside from some benefits that you do get from a hybrid car and having a hybrid car, there are some other positives to it. It doesn't go pure EV, so it doesn't mean you can drive it on pure electric. It just means that the hybrid is always there. It's a bit like the little Suzuki Swift Sport hybrid. It's always there. It's backing up the kind of internal combustion motor, making it a little bit more efficient, topping it up. Even though there is a lot of power from that hybrid electric motor that's in there, it is just for a top up of power, top up of torque, and to often, yeah, make it a little bit more drivable. But let's see what this little beast is all about. Nice steering wheel. It's got this kind of flat bottomed, almost hexoid kind of looking. Automatic, as I said, no paddles, just auto. We said before, it's not any frills. There's no real drive modes and anything like that. It's just a kind of plant it, go. There is some different things like energy regeneration. There's 3 different modes: low, high. I'm gonna put it on low. There is an option to turn off the traction control, which is good. Some cars don't seem to let you do that, or you've got to go in a hidden setting. The MG, it does allow you to do it, much like an MG4. Let's go on to interior. I have to say, for an 18.5 to 20,000 pound car, the interior is actually really nice. Yes, there's some big hard, lower end plastics here and there, but some of the other like leather-like materials and other materials used feel pretty premium or reasonably premium and sturdy. I love the layout, no frills, but basic, but functional. Nice physical touch buttons, which I like. And these little bucket seats, the standard, are really actually comfy and lovely and nice. And they look really nice. Again, quality of the materials used are really decent. For that kind of money in this car, I think the interior is actually quite nice. It's probably one of the nicest interiors I've seen on a car of this kind of value. So that I am very impressed with. Decent amount of rear occupancy space. Footwell space is reasonable. I'd say you get a young adult in there with no problems, and an adult full stop. Headroom's decent. There's a good sized boot. And it seems reasonably practical. I'm told that this will do around 50 miles per gallon. I will be testing that and letting you know what I'm getting. The The test pods that have been in this before have been getting around 45 miles per gallon. So yes, exactly as it says, anywhere from between 40 to 55 miles per gallon can be achieved. And if you drive it really carefully, 50 miles per gallon is very easy to achieve. But yeah, like I said, I want to go into the handling characteristics and the real feel, because that is what my channel is all about. I want to know how much car you get for the money, because even though it's a budget car, I still personally would want it to drive well. So MG Pilot gives you different modes, you know, intelligent drive modes, you know, activated cruise control, intelligent overspeed warnings, but you can turn all of them off and off, which I do really like. And that's been akin to a lot of the new gen electric cars from MG, and I like that. On the convenience side, again, you can control the kind of regenerative modes and stuff like that, how things function as well. It's got a lot, even, you know, different lighting modes, welcome headlights, follow me home headlights as well, auto dip, things like that, safety parameters, all on one touch buttons within the infotainment system, which I love. Like I say, it doesn't have any specific modes other than the regeneration. It just has a normal type of mode. And when you put your foot down the bottom right hand corner, you can see how much boost you're getting, electrical boost you're getting from the electric motor. If you decel or let off the throttle, depending on what your energy regeneration is set to, you'll get a different amount of kilowatt energy back into that electric motor. But no, it's got a lovely display down here, Apple and Android CarPlay. Very intuitive. It seems to be quick on the response when you press the buttons. Steering weight is nice, not too light. It's relatively light, but not overly light. Lock to lock ratio is quite long. A lot of these EVs are, hence why you probably see me go one-handed and not kind of feed the steering in. Let's see what it's like around this. Get some brake in. Bit of front wash away, but you'd expect that. But the grip comes back in. At the end of the day, there's not too much weight on the nose, a 1.5 litre engine in there, but it's wet and very greasy. So once I've got the tyre temps up, the frontal grip is really, really good, and the chassis control and the weight kind of distribution feel, and I guess suspension feels really good. The chassis is staying relatively neutral, relatively planted, relatively flat. There's not much body roll, and it's decently sprightly. I keep going for a gear, but it's not. It's automatic, 2-speed auto. Sorry, 3-speed auto. You can feel it kick and change. Again, you've got no paddles to do any changes. You just let it do its thing. And it's a really comfortable car. It's soaking up these complex, bouncy, whew. And I tell you what, it moves really well. It's soaking up these bumps. Now, a lot of really high horsepower cars in this kind of weather, they're no good, or they will start to struggle, and they're almost just a bit over the top. But this is absolutely eating up these corners. Brakes are nice, disc brakes all round, which sometimes, you know, you're probably laughing at me for saying that. Not all, even modern cars, always have front and rear brake discs. Even now in this modern day and age, you wouldn't believe it. They're not huge or big by any stretch of imagination, but whatever's on there, they work very well. Let's go past these, and this is why you need a good bit of power. And you know what? It's not half bad at all. Now, look, it's not going to break any land speed records, and it's not going to shift faster and be faster than a hot hatch, but it's a very sprightly motor. The automatic gearbox is chilled. I don't want to say lazy, because it's not lazy, but it's quite a chilled gearbox. It's not a sprightly, quick, zippy, automatic changing gearbox, but it's absolutely adequate. It's doing a decent job. Again, because you can't do the old paddles, you can't kind of decide how you change down and how you kind of control those changes. But it doesn't matter too much. I don't think you're missing out on too much with the platform that you've got. Traction, you know, it's got enough power to scramble the front wheels if it needs to. But it's very quick, it's decently quick. It'll get you up to those, takes those little crests nicely. But it's got a really accomplished chassis. Lovely suspension. It's actually, the best way I can describe this suspension is it is very suited to these kind of country roads. Jinking left and right, loads of crests, loads of cambers. And this chassis just absorbs and soaks up the lumps and bumps really well and pulls the suspension in really nicely. So yeah, I have to say this is it's a fun little car to drive and decently fast. Just what anyone would want for that kind of circa £20,000 car with all the bells and whistles. So I can see why MG sell this car really, really well, and it's a good selling car for MG. This is a really, really good car, I have to say. Really accomplished, really good car. Does everything it needs to do for its price range very, very, very well. And it's an enjoyable chassis, it's fun. And that's what I like. What else, or what gripes would I say is there with this? I wouldn't say there is. It is a relatively low, no frills, so to speak, package. And I say that, it has got a 360-degree camera. It's got all the bells and whistles that you'd expect, climate control, activated cruise control. So it's actually got a little bit more than what you'd expect in some cars that are about £20,000. So with that, it's very, very good value for what you get. And like I say, it's a great, fun, enjoyable chassis to drive. And around those roads, it's brilliant. It's greasy, it's dewy. It's very testing for any car chassis and tyre. But this is doing a great job soaking that up. When the tyres were mildly cold, around that roundabout, we were starting to get a little bit of understeer relatively early, but the moment we got some temperature in them tyres, they were gripping really well, and I was having absolutely no trouble down those undulating back roads. So I'm going to push it again now. I've got a lot more heat in these tyres around this little roundabout, and I'm going to keep going round. I'm going to let that, it's starting to push a little bit. Getting a bit of front end push, yeah, we're getting a bit of understeer, but it grips and it is it's found a grippy point. It's really good, and it powers out the corner nicely. A little bit of delay on that auto box, like I said. It's not lazy, it's just not as sprightly as some gearboxes, but it's really good. Lovely brakes, great chassis, overall very good. Right, let's do a little 0 to 60 pull. Find a suitable, safe area. I'm not going to have too much traction issues with this because, like I say, it's not got too much power. Circa 200 horsepower, 193 to be exact, and but 313 foot-pounds of torque. So it might scramble low down, but let's give it a go. We don't need to change any settings, so to speak. 1, 2, 3. Traction, a bit laggy. Come on, MG 60. We'll do another one just to get a kind of a fair result. So we got a 6.89. Let's do one more. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Come on, MG. It's just a little bit laggy. If that, I'll tell you what, if they somehow could get that electric motor to engage, feel like it engages quicker, they probably could. They're probably making it a bit more safer for the motor not to burn out, so it can have repeatability. It's almost like a turbocharged car with a bit of lag. So you low down at 0 to 60 pulls, you don't get much until it wakes up. They're probably limiting that, but I've just done a 6.9 0 to 60 straight away, and I've just done a 6.7. Yeah, like I said, the interior is really nice. There's loads of cubby holes in here for like your mobile phones, for anything you want to put in here, loose change, whatever it may be. USB-C, USB, yeah, really, really good. Like I say, although I say it's no frills, and I don't want to be down talking it, this has got a lot of features for the money and is a really, really good car. But before I sign off, let's give it full beans. around here. It's a great car. It has a brilliant little chassis, plenty of grip, dewy conditions, very impressive. Nice steering input, nice and responsive rack. Relatively light, but you know, not at all bad. And just the way it turns in and noses in is lovely. And the suspension, I've said it before, is really, really good. Whatever they've done with that suspension, it's just really, they've matched it very nice to the chassis. I shouldn't be surprised. The MG4 was great, and in a lighter, smaller package, it's even better, I have to say. So this, as a hybrid kind of fun car, it is brilliant for the money. Absolutely brilliant, spot on. As budget cars go, especially for this modern day and age, for circa 20 grand with what you get in this car, absolutely phenomenal. Great car, great little chassis, very fun. Love it. Just take it around this corner. One more push. It's got a lovely chassis. It stays so flat, and you can play with it actually. Now, see there, now we had that out on a bit more of a drier, not horrible loose surface, which around that kind of industrial area was. That had a lot more traction, and it's already a really impressive car, but it has great front end grip, and the suspension, it just sits so flat. It's genuinely such a highly impressive little car. Chassis wise, it's super fun. If it had a little bit more sprightliness, down low at like 0 to 20, it would be so fast and so impressive. Don't get me wrong, it's really impressive anyway. I've just done 0 to 60 in 6.9, and then again a 6.9 and then a 6.7. So of course it's ridiculously impressive all the same. But if it had that little bit extra low down, that would be like a low 6-second 0 to 60 car, which for a £20,000 budget car, absolutely incredible. But yeah, let's debrief, and I'll let you know my final thoughts. So that is the end of our video with the awesome MG3 Trophy Hybrid Plus. What an amazing little machine. I mean, what else can I really say about it? I can't. I don't need to, because I'm so impressed with that car. Say 50 mile per gallon, I was getting about 45 mile per gallon during my whole test drive just then, which was pretty wild, as you would see, or relatively, you know, wild, pushing it pretty damn hard. But it was really impressive. I have to say, I didn't realise it was going to be as quick as that, and it is. Like I say, 0 to 60, 6.9, and then a 6.7. But that is impressive. You've got to remember, that is a, you know, £20,000 car with all options that's on there, and that's a lot of options. There's a lot of stuff on there, everything you can think of that you'd want in like a small exec car, which that isn't, you know. It's a budget car. That's got everything, which is brilliant. And for that reason, in the super mini kind of small segment budget car class, I'll give you the right class in the bio, I'm going to give that a peak performance reviews rating of 89, because I genuinely think it's actually one of the best cars that I've driven for quite a while in terms of in the budget range. The Suzuki Swift Sport was awesome as well, very impressive. But that's actually a little bit quicker. Low down, it feels a little bit slower, but once it gets going, that feels quicker. Really impressive. If you're in the market for one, definitely go test drive one. And yeah, if you've got any questions, make sure you hit us up. As always, like, share, comment, subscribe. See you again in the next one. Bye for now.